to Chumachukma, Sahoficho, Sahoficho, Miko Sky. How the family doing? Well, y'all, what's going on? Hope y'all have enjoyed your day. I'm gonna get out, man, get my workout in. But before I do that, I just want to address some situations and some information that was pertaining to Turtle Gang. Turtle Gang was on a bill with Tomahawk Tony, Two Hawks, and the other brother. The bill was a good, pretty much bill. You know, it was a lot of information was given, like always. Anytime Two Hawks and Turtle Gang get together, you're definitely going to get some information, some good information if you're a traditional Indian. So, the only thing I have concerns with, and disagreement with, what he said that Algonquin, Muskogee is an Algonquin dialect, and I'm like, well, maybe the brother don't have a full understanding of our language. So I'm here, probably to bring clarifications about these languages, right? So I'm going to recite the source that he came from. He came from the Encyclopedia of Britannica, and it's talking about his language, which is the Macro-Algonquin language. The North American family language is composed of 9 families. The Micro-Algonquin language, composed of 9 families, a total of 24 language or dialect groups. The language families include Algonquin with 13 language, Yurok with 1 language, Wyanoke with 1 language, Muskogee with 4 languages, Natchez, Atakapa with all of these with 1 language, to the Tunica, the Tawaga, all with 1 language, right? The North, okay. Algonquin language was spoken prior to European settlement in the eastern North America. Wyoming, Montana, United States, Alberta, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, in the area of Northern California. Major language are the Cree, Innu, dialect of Eastern Canada, Ojibwe, Algonquin, Ottawa, dialect of the Southern Ontario. This is in Canada. Mi'kmaq spoke dialect in Eastern Canada. The Blackfoot spoke Algonquin in the Montana and Alberta. These are all Algonquin language. These are all Algonquin language, period. The Chahta Chickasaw dialects are in Mississippi, Muskogee, Creek, Seminoles spoke dialects in Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida. These languages belongs to the Muskogee family. So up here it said these languages belong, these are all Algonquin language. Then when they get to the Choctaw Chickasaw, it said these languages belong to the Muskogee family. Okay, again, I'm going to say that again in case y'all miss it. The language, right? The Algonquin language in Southern Ontario, that's Mi'kmaq, right? In Eastern Canada, they spoke Algonquin. Blackfoot, Montana, and Alberta, right? The Cree and the Innu. These are all Algonquin language. It gives you a period. That means definite. Then you go to the last. This is what Turtle Gang. This is the Encyclopedia of Britannica. This is where he come from. When you get to the period, in English, the period means definite, right? Then it takes you to the last paragraph. The Choctaw Chickasaw dialects are in Mississippi, Muskogee, Creek, Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida. These languages belong to the Muskogee family. It tells you what language from what country belong to the Algonquin family languages from Canada. Then it breaks you all the way down, tells you what language belong to the Muskogee family. Okay, maybe there's some, I don't know, maybe I see things different. I don't know, So, but anyway, he said that, again, the Muskogee is an Algonquin dialect. I don't think so. Because if you're talking about the Muskogee language, then you got to talk about the Hichiti. You had to talk about the Miccosukee. You had to talk about the Yama language, which is a language on its own. You had to talk about the Mobilians. We spoke a Mobilian language, a Mobilian dialect. Which language are you talking about? Or which? I mean, are you talking about the Western dialect? You talking about which dialect you talking about? And then you can't confine our language in no state. Canada, Oklahoma, Florida. We were speaking these languages before there were states. We were speaking these languages before the European came to these shores. We created a language in order to do trading from our Mobilian Chahta family. Who are the Mobilian tribe? The Mobilian Indians were of Muskogee, tribe of Alabama, relative to the Choctaw. So you talking about the Mobilian Indians? Do they have a Algonquin dialect? I don't know. Let's see. The Mobilian Indians were a Muskogee tribe of Alabama, relatives of the Choctaw tribe. The language was never well recorded, but was probably either a dialect of the Choctaw or closely related. A regional trade language used by the Mobilians and their neighbors, known as the Mobilian jargon language. I want to hurry up get on through this here. Okay. The Mobilian trade language was, along with the Chickasaw and the Delaware jargons. Let's stop right there. The Delaware jargons. Okay, so I pulled up what is the Delaware jargons. Is spelled Ami. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Unami. These are the Delaware Lenape, right? The Lenape, and I got this called Go to the Language of America. The Lenape, Amy, Delaware, Lenape. This is their language. Lenape or Unami, Delaware is an Algonquin language, originally spoken in New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania. See? There are no fully fluent speakers of the Lenape Delaware anymore. See? I don't know. What this saying, I don't know. This still might be some speakers, I don't know. But what this here is saying, from the Delaware language, that this Delaware jargon was spoken by the Algonquin language in New Jersey. So this is my point right here. I'm going to make my point. My point is the Mobilian trade language, right, was along with the Chinook Delaware jargon, right, one of the languages of North America based on a Native American language. The Mobilian trade language vocabulary, the Mobilian trade language vocabulary is predominant of a Choctaw origin. Although there are words from Algonquin and other indigenous language, as well as words from English, French, and Spanish. I'm going to stop right there because you can pull this up, Mobilian trade language, Mobilian jargon. That's my source. I'm going strictly to the languages. So, how's Muskogee, how you going to take one dialect, one language or dialect that we speak, and say there's an Algonquin dialect, or that's what you're going to say? Because All other languages don't have anything to do with Algonquin. The Hichiti, the Miccosukee, the Yama don't have anything to do with Algonquin. So your source came from the Encyclopedia Britannica. So we traded, we traded, like it said, words. Words. Although there are words from Algonquin and other indigenous nations or tribes. We traded all up and down the Canadian River. We traded all down, up and down the Mississippi River, Mississippi, which is an Algonquin word. But we have a language for the Mississippi too called Okokoposhos. So y'all called it Mississippi. We called it Okokoposhos. See, that's our language for the Mississippi River. So it's a mobility and trade language. We traded all up and down the Mississippi River. Hold on. I just want to bring some more information. The Choctaw influence, okay, the influence of the ancient Choctaw, the influence of the ancient Choctaws was so strong that it was felt throughout the North American continent. I'm going to say it again. The influence of the ancient Choctaws was so strong that it was felt throughout the North American continent. For example, did you know the intertribal trading language for trading between tribes consists of several Choctaw trading words along with traditional sign language? This has been proven by the fact that certain Choctaw trading words are still recognized by tribes as the Rogue Indians of Oregon, the Sioux, the Hopi, the Navajo, the Apache, and other plain tribes. The fact was attested by such Nahuatl explorers. It said Nahuatl explorers or artist George Catlin, Trapper and Scout Jim Bridgers, Army Scout Kit Carson, and several other well-known historians. This has come from the Ancient Choctaw Canada. The author is Lee Green. Origins of the Choctaw people, retold from old legends. See, you got sources down here. You can go to these sources and put them up. It gives you some of our languages. So the mobility and trading language was felt all throughout America. We took some Algonquin words, but we didn't take the whole Algonquin language or the Algonquin dialect. We just borrowed. We took some words. We got some words for other indigenous tribes. So what it is? What's really going on here? How the Muskogee language is an Algonquin dialect? What's really going on? What's the point? Let's deal with it. I wish I could turn my camera around so y'all could see this. The Choctaw is called Richard L. Thorne, architect, center planner. Right here. The Americas Reveal. Unraveling the past of America while preserving the past and the future. The Choctaw, Chickasaws, and Creeks are descendants from the Mexico earliest culture. Now, here's our oral story. Our oral story states that we come from ancient Mesoamerica. This is a fact. It said our people arrived. This is in our oral story many, many moons ago, suns ago. So how's we affected by the Algonquin? When did that happen? Did y'all speak an ancient Mayan language? I don't think so. The Gulf Coast plain stretching from Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, to Key West, Florida, was known as Exchequer by the Native American when first explored by the Spaniards in 1500. This word written Exchequer is in the Castilian and mean in the Spanish Castilian and mean place of the moon goddess. In the Chahta Mayan, this evidence, along with many surviving Eastern and Chahta Mayan place names in Georgia, Southern Heights, suggested a seagoing Chahta Mayan merchants were familiar with the present-day Northwest Florida. Who was in Northwest Florida? Who was in Northwest Florida? You got a Choctaw Sea. You had a Choctaw Sea went from all North Florida all the way up to the Yucatan Peninsula, all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. You had the Choctaw River. The Choctaw River still there today. Who was in Northwest Florida speaking these languages? It was the Chahta. It was our relatives, our family, the Yamasa. We spoke a language, Yama. Hold on, see, can I pull that up? Okay, right here. Called St. Andrews Bay. Was intensely inhabited by Native Americans because of the abundance of food and resources. Many ethnic groups probably lived in Florida coastline plain from time to time. Primary inhabits the present-day Bay County. When the Spaniards explored these regions in the 1600s, there were the Choctaws or Choctaw and the Ute. The Choctaw/Choctaw apparently spoke a dialect, a Yama, or Mobilian trade jargon. The Choctawhatchee River suggests either the Choctaw-speaking towns occupied the county. See there? It was occupied by the Choctaws. We had early family there, and all of it was of the Muskogee stock. Right here, we spoke Yama. The Choctaw apparently spoke a dialect of Yama or the Mobilian trade language. This is in northeastern Florida. So what I'm saying that you can't box our language, confine us to these states. Well, the Choctaws and Choctaws and Mississippi spoke this, and the Chickasaw spoke this. No, we were speaking these languages all out throughout America. We was trading through all out up and down the Ohio River, up and down the Mississippi River, up and down Red River, up and down Pearl River, up and down Canadian River, up and down the Tennessee River, up and down the Arkansas River. Our oral history, I just read it to you that we come from the ancient Mayans. So, like I said, brother, if you know something that I don't know, my ears is open. So that's how I think how these languages affected one another, how they intertwine. Because we was doing trading, we was trading with the Mobilian language, and they was trading with their language, and do trading. We communicated with each other. We got some of their words and they got some of our words, but we not nobody grandfather. The Chahta Okla, Chahta Gula, we nobody grandfather. The Muskogee family, we don't have no grandfather. Our fathers and mothers is in the old mix, Toltecs, the ancient Mayans, Precolonial. See, that's our oral story. Our oral story don't have anything to do with the Algonquin people. Y'all have y'all oral story, and we have ours. You all have y'all language. We have ours. So I hope the brother hears me clearly, and if not, it's all good in Chahta Hood. It's a piece of Shalakshani.